Having seen a lot of the movies from the same company, like The Killing Tree, Krampus the Return, Nutcracker Massacre, it was bizarre seeing one of them in theaters. Yep, Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey has been given a theatrical release after the trailer went viral, leading to a slew of negative critic reviews, letterbox reviews, and even my drunk audience didn't seem that into it, where I was the only sober one there. But I will say this, I've seen a lot of the lower end ones, like Curse of Jack Frost or Cult of Humpty Dumpty, and for lack of a better word, this one is one of the better ones. The story is that when Christopher Robin went off to college, Pooh and friends were left on their own, where they grew feral and resorted to eating Eeyore and wanting to kill all humans due to being abandoned by them. I like that you could take that backstory and apply it to a horror version of the characters from Toy Story if you wanted. The movie has a lot of the same flaws I've seen in the others. There are a few scenes where the dialogue goes on too long, and it is yet another where they have an intriguing villain, but at the end of the day, it's just about a group of young people going to a house in the woods where they're chased by a killer. It's just that those flaws aren't quite as bad this time. It does tone them down a little. I know I've seen this before in maybe the Krampus one, but here it again opens with pencil animation of the backstory. But it does know when to quit. I've seen this type of thing go on for like 5 minutes before. Hell, I've seen some where the exposition is just the characters reading a book for an eternity. This one also amps up the death scenes a lot more. There's sledgehammers to the head, characters shoved in a wood chipper, or skull crushings with a car. However, a lot of them are so darkly lit, I had to squint to see what was happening. Which is odd, since there's other parts where they actually do a very good job of lighting and setting up their shots. I do respect that the movie chooses to play all of this completely straight. There's a scene where Pooh has Christopher Robin chained up and whipping his back, and it's played like a 2000s torture porn. And when these actors have to say things like, "You were good once, Pooh," they are committed to the material. The downside is that the characters are pretty indistinguishable from each other. The only reason they might stand out is simply because I recognize the actors from the director's other movies. They give some backstory to one character, but it's dropped fairly early, where briefly the movie's villain is something like Bob from Twin Peaks. But while I can say that some things were done better, it doesn't take away that you've got a fairly decent plot here to make something memorable and a ton of fun, and this movie isn't either of those things. It's a standard by-the-numbers slasher that just happens to call its killers Pooh and Piglet. You could tell someone that this is simply about backwoods hillbillies dressed in animal masks, and 99% of the movie would play out the same. It's like seeing Farmer Vincent in Motel Hell and being like, "Oh, it's Piglet!" These movies feel like they're just pre-packaged scripts, where you could easily insert some clickbaity villain into it. I wasn't sitting there mad at the movie. It's not gonna make my worst of list. It's not even like it's a terrible slasher film if it didn't have the Pooh names attached, but given that it does, it's just a constant reminder of wasted potential. I'm gonna be wildly generous and give it a C, because it is that average. And strictly on the grounds of, well, it's a lot better than Cult of Humpty Dumpty. Thanks for watching, everyone, and be sure to subscribe to our channel today and click the notification bell, plus follow us on Twitter at The Cinema Snob, and we'll see you next time.